Nice to see you, everybody, and welcome back to our Regional Polytechnic Institute Teachers and Support. Okay, and in this today video lesson, I'm going to share with you all about the politics. Yeah, politics. So before I let you know to this new part, I'm going to ask you maybe some questions in the old points. So what did you study last week? What was it about? Okay, last week it was about international economic institution, right? Okay, international economic institutions. So I have one question in this, and after I will review all of you about the vocabulary. So my question is right now, yes, what are economic institutions more commonly associated with economic globalizations? Again, please take out your pencil or pens and box to write it down. What are economic institutions most commonly associated with economic globalizations? Okay, the answer is the economic institution most commonly associated with globalization are, IMF. Okay, IMF it stands for International Monetary Fund, right? IMF first, and the second is the World Bank. It's for short WB, and the last is WTO. It's called World Trade Organization. Yes, thank you. So these are three economic institutions that most commonly is associated with the economic globalization. So right now I want you to know, and I need to ask you some questions about the vocabulary. What is migrate? Integrate, what is integrate? Integrate is a mix and with and joint society or groups of people, often changing to suit their ways of life, habits, and customs. That is called integrate. And deregulating, deregulate means to remove national or local government control or rules from business or other activities. Look down. And this word, can you pronounce this word? This word is pronounced debtor. Debtor or debtor. Okay, it means someone who owes money. Yes. Restructure, to organize a company, business, or system in new ways to make it operate more effectively. And export-led economic growth. And subsidies, money given as part of the cost of something to help or encourage it to happen. Devalue, to reduce the rate at which money can be exchanged for foreign money. That is called Thank you, everybody. So right now we are going to the new points that is called politics. Politics. So I think that everybody have known its meaning in our language already about politics. But I want to ask you, tell me the definition as a standard of this word. What is politics? Politics, it means the activities of the government. Please write it down. The activities of the government, members of lawmaking organizations, or people who try to influence the way a country is governed. That's called politics. The activities of the government, members of lawmaking organizations, or people who try to influence the way a country is governed. That is called politics. So a study for the vocabulary. Acquisitions, it means the process of getting something. And allocation, the action or process of allocating or distributing something, that is called allocation. การបែងចែក allocation. And move on to the next one. Okay, read. Okay, about revolving. Yeah, revolve around, to have. Yeah, revolve around, I mean to have someone or something as the main or most important interest or subject. That is called revolve around. Okay, and supranational involving more than one country or having power or authority that is greater than that of single countries. That is supranational. And configuration, a particular arrangement or pattern of groups of related things. That is called configuration. ការកំណត់រចនាសម្ព័ន្ធ configuration. And okay, apparatus, an organization or system, especially a political one. រចនាសម្ព័ន្ធ apparatus. Distinguished, to notice or understand the difference between two things, or to make one person or thing seem different from another. សម្គាល់ or ញែក yeah, distinguish. Conversely, introducing a statement or idea which reverses, yeah, or one that has just been made or referred to. ផ្ទុយទៅវិញ conversely. This word we pronounce together. Let's pronounce American what? Iroquois. Yeah. Native American Iroquois. Yeah, Iroquois. A member of a forefather, former confederacy of 6 North American peoples. Mohawk, like Wanida, Seneca, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Tuscarora, who live mainly in southern Ontario or Quebec, and northern New York State. And the next one, emerge, to appear by coming out of something or out from, behind something. ផុសចេញ ឬកើតចេញ yeah. Imply, actually this word end in y, so in the verb, so implies, I mean we change y to ies. Implies, I mean to communicate an idea or feeling without saying it directly. និយាយបញ្ឆិត yeah, imply. And geopolitical, that is called relating to politics, especially international relations, as influenced by geographical factors. ភូមិសាស្ត្រនយោបាយ yeah. Soul, being only one or single, that is called soul. Okay. Coincide, to be the same or similar, ស្របគ្នា ព្រមគ្នា Commonality, and in y, actually in plural change y to ies. Commonality, the fact of sharing interests, experiences, or other characteristics with someone or something ភាពដូចគ្នាភាពសាមញ្ញ characteristic typical of the person or thing លក្ខណៈ characteristic prior okay prior before a particular time or event មុនពេល Austro-Hungarian yeah Austro-Hungarian often referred to as okay referred to as the Austro-Hungarian Empire or the dual monarchy yeah was constitutional monarchy and great power in Central Europe between 1867 and 1918. It was formed with the Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867 and was dissolved following its defeat in the First World War. Yeah, that is called Austro-Hungarian. And Ottoman Empire created by Turkish tribes that grew to be one of the most powerful states in the world in the 15th and 16th centuries. Yeah. Minority, ethnic minority, the phrase here, ethnic minority, a group of people with a particular race or nationality living in a country or area where most people are from a different race or nationality. ជនជាតិភាគតិច yeah ជនជាតិភាគតិច and disrupt to prevent something, especially a system, process or event from continuing as usual or as expected. បង្អាក់ disrupt imply again to communicate an idea or feeling without saying it directly. Imply បញ្ជាក់ឬក៏និយាយបញ្ឆិត okay in the absence of common descent yeah in the absence of something I mean ដោយគ្មាន yeah in the absence of something and common descent yeah common descent ដើមកំណើត common descent of ethnic identity yeah ethnic identity អត្តសញ្ញាណជាតិ uniformity the quality or state of being uniform as a time compulsory if something is compulsory you must do it because of a rule or law កាតព្វកិច្ច compulsory assimilation the process of becoming a part or making someone become a part of a group, country, society, etc. that we call assimilation sorry and expulsion the act of forcing someone or being forced to leave a school, organization or country ការបំបរបង់ចោលឬការបណ្តេញចេញ expulsion persecution unfair or cruel treatment over a long period of time because of race religion or political beliefs ការធ្វើទុកបុកម្នេញ yeah persecution coexist to live or exist together at the same time or in the same place រួមរស់ជាមួយគ្នា linguistic connected with language or the study of language នៃភាសាវិទ្យា yeah the linguistic mobility the ability to move freely or be easily moved ការចល័ត currency or one we can say that coherence the situation when the parts of something fit together in a natural or reasonable way ភាពស៊ីគ្នា coherency and erode to rub or be rubbed away gradually បំផ្លាញ erode decline, decline, to gradually become less, worse, or lower. Decline. Deteriorization. Again, deteriorization. Deteriorization means the a series, the severance of social, political, or cultural practices from a generative places or populations. Render, to give something such as a service, a personal opinion, or expression, or a performance of a song or poem, etc. to people, but not always. Reside, to live, have your home, to stay in a place. Reside. Root no. Initiate, initiate, to cause something to begin. Unleash, to suddenly release a violent force that cannot be controlled. Retain, to keep or continue to have something. Infrastructure, the basic system and services such as transport and power supplies that a country or organization uses in order to work effectively. Infrastructure. Okay, thank you. So let's read and learn about in this politics together. Okay. Although the term politics, and I also give you already about the definition of the politics. Here, you can take a look at this one. Although the term politics is commonly associated with government, it can be used more generally to refer to the processes through which groups of people make decisions. Politics consists of social relations, but because decision making is involved. Politics are also about authority and powers. It focuses on authority and power. The politics is involved in this two parts. How will a given decision be made? Whose views of a situation and what should be done about it will be adopted. How will the decision be applied and enforced? When viewed in this way, it becomes evident that politics form a part of all groups' interactions, from governments to corporations to clubs. However, at academic institutions, uh, political scientists tend to focus their analysis and or research on politics at the larger governmental level, examining political behaviors and organizations, systems of governance, public policy, and the acquisitions, allocation, application, and transfer governance of power. When looking at globalization through a political science lens, and the focus, okay, tends to be on issues revolving around the demarcation ការកំណត់ដែនសីមាព្រំដែន demarcation of the globe into nation state, existing territorial configurations, global governance, and other forms of supranational social and economic regulation. And take a look at the nation state. The scientists have distinguished these two words, nation and state. Traditionally, political scientists have distinguished between the term nation and state, using the former to describe an ethnic or cultural community and the latter to refer to a sovereign political entity. As such, some states may have many nations living within them, and conversely, some nations are not states, right? Sovereign state. For example, the Native American Iroquois are a nation but not a state, since they do not have sovereign authority over their internal and external affairs. The term nation state implies that the nation, the cultural ethnic groups coincides with the state, the geopolitical entity. In theory, then citizens of the nation state share a common language, culture, and values. Commonalities which historical yeah history historically often, right, were not characteristic of the state. For example, prior prior to our current nation state system, Europe was divided into multi-ethnic empires, including the Austro-Hungarian, Russian, Ottoman, and British empires. Okay, let's look at to the nation and state and sovereignty or sovereign together. Nation, it refers to a shared cultural or ethnic identity rather than to a legally recognized geographic territory. That is called nation. And about state, state refers to the actual governing apparatus of a geographically defined territory called a country. Yeah, it's called state. And sovereignty, the principle that emerged from the Peace of Westphalia in the years of 1648, which suggests that a political entity has the sole authority to make decisions about policy, procedure, and institution within a given geographic territory. Okay, that is called sovereignty or sovereign. Okay, in today's nation-state system, global migration and the presence of ethnic minorities disrupt the implied identity of the nation-state. In the absence of common descent, language, and ethnic identity, nation-states often try to create cultural uniformity via national language policies and compulsory education with a uniform curriculum. Well, some nation-states create state-enforced cultural assimilation policies. Other reactions to the presence of ethnic minorities have historically included expulsion, persecution, and violence. Indeed, nation-states have been responsible for some of the worst examples of violence against people living within the nation-state's borders who were not considered parts of the nation. However, many nation-states do accept some minorities, protecting and guaranteeing their rights. Some states have adopted multiculturalism as a official policies in an effort to establish peaceful relation between the multiple ethnic, cultural, and linguistic groups living within the state. Yes, let's look at to the word multiculturalism here believes that different cultures can coexist peacefully within a given territory. That is called multiculturalism. However, their responses to multiculturalism might be nation states are increasingly forced to address the issue as the forces of globalization have led to a growth in human mobility, making it easier for people to migrate around the world. Some argue that increased migration has disrupted the currency of the nation state, eroding the commonality of language, culture, and values upon which it depends. Others argue that the nation state is in decline due to the general deterritorialization effect of globalization, which render bounded territory an increasingly less meaningful concept for understanding global power. Political power, they maintain, resides in global networks, eroding the ability of states to control social, political, and economic lives within their borders. However, other scholars disagree. Disagrees, pointing out that it was the nation state themselves that initiated the policies that unleashed the forces of globalization. Governments, they argue, remain important political entities on the global landscape, retaining various degrees of control over education, infrastructures, and migration. Thank you, everybody, about this politics. The first, the important points that you have to remember and also write into your notebook, like the vocabularies, multiculturalism, and also sovereignty and state and nations. And the most important for all of you to know in this part and also in this point is called politics. What politics is. Okay, you can write its definition here as a standard one. The activities of the government, the members of lawmaking organization, or people who try to influence the ways of countries it governed. Okay, if you have some question, you can ask me in my Telegram groups. Okay, goodbye. See you. Good luck, everybody.